Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the brand new stage to come to the Extreme Z area for Special Characters Edition. So this is obviously kind of like the April Fool's Halloween character cards, and yeah, basically it's the new stage that's been added in for the Android 8 and Android 17. Now you are limited pretty much to majority characters from these special events, also including some other free-to-play units, some Android 17s now, some Hellfighter 17s, and then of course there's some Super Strike units added in, so the roster is getting a little bit more expansive, giving players a tiny bit more options to kind of run with. Obviously, in general, pretty straightforward stuff, only one stage added in. It'll be traditional, so 2 difficulties, and yeah, you can take it from there. You do have to have an Android 8 and an Android 17 in your team, so that you can obviously use them in the stage. They are mandatory for the stage, so you're gonna have to farm them first. But yeah, you can see we've got the latest stage, the brand new medals, and we'll see just how easy, difficult, etc. it is, and we'll get a good idea of course, pretty much everything we need to know about it. As always with Extreme Z areas, on the first difficulty, if you go to the left you will receive bronze medals, if you go to the right you will receive silver, and on the second difficulty, if you go to the left you shall receive gold medals, and if you go to the right you shall receive rainbow medals. Overall, the Extreme Z Awakening looks pretty interesting, I would say. It's not necessarily the craziest. I think it's a little bit too circumstantial. To get their full boost they need to be below 80% and have been hit, and obviously then you can get kind of the full benefit of them. It's not necessarily bad in any way, shape or form. It's just not necessarily as good as I'd like. I think they could have made the damage reduction unconditional. Just that part, everything else is fine. In terms of them overall though, I think they are an interesting option, obviously mainly for an Android team, more so than anything else, but they're still pretty interesting. We'll get to see how good they are. Because there's been a new stage added, there's obviously new missions added. Those missions are pretty straightforward. They're not anything that you should realistically struggle with. And yeah, that is it. Obviously the 2 difficulties. Before we go into that though, just to remind you guys where you can get them, I will leave a link to the event in the top right hand corner of the video, but you can get them from the 2 Androids event, so make sure that you obviously go there first and grab a copy of the unit. You need to do that before you can obviously basically continue with the event. So that's pretty much it. I would say there's nothing else too crazy in terms of I guess is the overall kind of situation with them, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously you can use Mighty Mask as well. We're going to be building a full free-to-play team, so just a full team of free-to-play units. You don't have to do this. Please remember to use the strongest team you can. It will make things faster and make things easier, which we always want. We don't really want difficult times, we want easy times. So yeah, obviously because we are facing a physical unit, try and highlight using strength units if possible. That will generally be something that's going to help you out. I'm going to be using the Butiden Goku as a lead, just because he covers the majority of units with his all types lead. Although we'll be running low stats, it's not such a huge problem. And yeah, in general, team functions pretty well. I didn't really have too many problems overall. I think the overwhelming number of strength units generally kept things quite stable. So yeah, obviously guys, you need to run both sides of the coin here. So you need to run the left hand side and the right hand side. There is a chance for question marks, so question marks will drop additional medals. So as always, I suggest that you run both sides alternatively. Do the left hand side and then the right hand side, and then that will be able to kind of give you the necessary medals that you need should you get a question mark bonus drop. But overall, yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Obviously, As always guys, the amount of medals you need is going to be the same. You are going to need 15 bronze medals, 40 silver medals, 30 gold and 30 rainbow. That means you need to do each side 3 times. So you need to do each side of the stage 3 times, and then you should have a pretty decent time. As I mentioned before, these guys are pretty much only on Androids, so that's realistically the only team you're going to be able to run them on. And they're nice. They have some nice things I think that will help people with some SPR. I think that's really their level. They have the high chance to stun. They have the damage reduction. They've got, you know, a decent amount of kit built into them. I would definitely say they're probably a crit based build. I think that is definitely the best. So we're going to skip ahead. I'm going to awaken them to level 130, and then we're just going to take on stage 2 directly. But again, very simple stuff. The strength units really carry most of the payload, so it's really not too big an issue. The only thing I can really remind you of is please make sure that you stick Android 8 and Android 17 in the first slot, or Hacchan and Android 17. Generally speaking, it's going to be the best method for you. The reason being is simply because when you stick them in the first slot, they have a chance to get hit, and by getting hit, they will also be able to obviously cause some significant damage to the opposition as well. So that is probably, like I say, where, you know, for the most part you want to prioritize them. But yeah, that's realistically it. I think there's nothing else too much to really take of note. Like I said, the strength units really do a very good job in carrying this run, and they make things, you know, pretty smooth. For me overall, yeah, I always find that these Extreme Z areas are pretty chilled. The units that come with them are moderate to okay. I think we've in the past had some pretty usable units at the time. I think Hacchan and Android 17 are the kind of unit that could look decent, but aren't going to, you know, pull up trees with their performance. I think they look solid as a unit, but I don't think, you know, they're going to be one of those gem free-to-play units that just so happens to be exceptional in every single way. So yeah, or in a specific way. So yeah, overall, pretty nice stuff. I think everything else is straightforward. As you will see, we've done the missions, and you're just going to need to farm each difficulty of the stage 6 times. Remember, you want to do 3 on the left and 3 on the right, and then you should be good to go. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Everything should be good to go. And from then on, you can pretty much start rolling the ball. But that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.